My name is Samidha Manu, and I lead people services at REI Systems. I started at REI as a software engineer, literally working for a two-person startup in their basement. I had a master's degree in computer science, and I began working on the NASA project at REI. I was working directly with one of the founders, who's now the CEO, Shyam Salona. So after over a few years, what I discovered, my passion was addressing customer needs and user pain points, not just being in technology because I liked programming. And I wanted to make a broader impact by leveraging my technical expertise. So hence, I switched to being a project manager as I gained experience, and then a program manager with responsibility for a multi-million-dollar program. And then that expanded to a group of programs. Those were my early stages of being at REI. And then came a switch, the next phase of my career at REI, about 10 years ago when I transitioned to being a business unit lead. And that's where I was responsible for about 20-25% of REI's business, with holistic ownership of not just delivery, which is what I was doing prior, but also growth, people, all of those aspects of actually leading a business unit with a portfolio of programs. And then the next stage at REI, about 2.5 years ago, I pivoted from a program portfolio-based and external customer-focused role to more of, I accepted the challenge of building a people services function at the corporate level, at the organization level. And that function didn't exist before. So today, if I were to describe my job, when I say I lead all things people, it is fostering a culture. It is continuing to make REI a great place to work. And in the end, it's really creating joyful experiences for people, for our customers, for our employees. And my background in technology, the experience with our customers, knowing REI's culture, the people, is what has made me successful and what has made me enjoy what I'm doing today.
What have you learned from your experience at REI, especially as a woman in technology?
I would say, first of all, be willing to try different things. Go out of your comfort zone. I have done that at different times in my career myself, and that has been transformational for me personally. For instance, I would never have predicted that I would be comfortable in a customer facing role, leading 100+ person team. I'm an introvert. I thought I was good at what I did, but not necessarily with that being in front of people, being front and center of people. However, when the opportunity arose, I was willing to take that leap. I was willing to be uncomfortable and really go out of my way to do what it took to follow my passion. And I had faith that I could succeed. And that's why I was successful. And I was able to do it not just once, but over and over again. So in the end, it came out for me was challenging myself, going out of my comfort zone and being willing to take those risks because I believed in myself.
What advice would you give women in STEM today?
I would say women need to work hard at being heard. Especially for introverts, this is difficult. And it is doubly difficult when you are female introverts. Added to that is the problem of attribution. I would find myself in group settings where I would say certain things. But as soon as someone else, a colleague, especially a male colleague or a loud voice, I would say, like an extrovert, it doesn't have to be male, would say the same thing, it would be attributed to that individual. And I found that I had to figure out ways of combating that. One, reinforcement. So when you speak, make sure that you're able to clearly and firmly attribute those ideas to yourself, reinforce that, such as by saying, this is what I was thinking when I said this, or adding to what I was saying earlier. So those phrases kind of took it back and said, hey, this is what I was saying in a very polite manner. The most challenging time for me as a woman was when I was joining a new team, and it is difficult to be heard right away. And it's harder still to be seen as authoritative, as a leader, when you are an introvert. So once the team gets to know each other and you work together with the team, that's not an issue as much. But you have to insist on being heard at the beginning. Once you become a leader, it becomes incumbent upon you to be even more making sure that others' voices are being heard, that ideas are being given voice. So that, while it doesn't have some anything directly to do with STEM, I do feel like because that area is dominated predominantly by male uh, folks, engineers, developers, we do need to be careful in how we make sure we get our voices heard in that environment.
What do you think the key to success is in a career today?
Uh, the key to success for anyone is to be passionate about what you do, to truly care about the success of others. If you're starting out early in your career, I would say absolutely curious. Do not limit yourself and be empathetic. The more you learn about new things, the more you learn about other perspectives, you learn from other people's point of view, the more you will scale your own talents. And it will transform you, it will transform those around you. And your work does not stop when you become a leader, because as your sphere of influence increases, make sure you're not becoming overconfident, not coming across as the know it all, arrogant person. Do your homework, remain thoughtful, remain curious, remain humble. And to be empathetic, you have to listen. So listen to what your customers are saying. Think about it from their perspective, because thinking like your customer and listening to them is going to give you a higher probability of succeeding. It took me some time to figure that out, that that was a strength, and that's why I was able to do that well. And finally, I would say absolutely needed is focus on the value of what is being delivered. You can be constantly busy figuring out what to improve, what to do differently, but just improvement for its own sake is not helpful. You should be delivering value, and that's if you can ask yourself, is what I'm doing worth it to the team, the organization, and the customer? If the answer is yes, it's better than perfection. And being an authentic person, caring deeply for the individual, for the team, and their success, that has been for me the key to my success. And I think that approach will work for anyone.